These days, full-size trucks have become so massive that they come with their own postal code, or zip code if you're watching in the United States. That's where a truck like this comes in. This is the 2026 Chevrolet Colorado. It's a mid-sized truck which ironically has become as large as full-size trucks were a couple of decades ago. But anyway, this one is the Trail Boss, the mid-level trim of the Colorado range. So the simple question is it any good? Under the hood, Chevy did something that would make every traditionalist weep. They got rid of the V6. Every Colorado, from the work truck all the way up to the ZR2, now uses this 2.7-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. They call it the TurboMax engine, and it produces 310 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque. The power is similar to that of the old V6, but the torque is more than the old diesel that used to be offered with the Colorado. It's paired with an 8-speed automatic that shifts with the enthusiasm of a butler, discreet and efficient. Out on the road, this engine is punchy. It gets up to speed just fine, and it doesn't feel like as though it struggles to go up a steep hill or merge onto a highway. That is, when this truck is unloaded. I unfortunately haven't had a chance to load up the bed or tow something with this truck, so I can't really comment on how this engine feels when it is pulling some serious weight. But either way, most of the time, trucks like these are going to be driven around the city with an empty bed and not towing anything. With 2 fewer cylinders than the old V6, you'd expect this 4-cylinder to be frugal with the go faster juice. But that's not really the case. With the 4-wheel drive, the Colorado is rated for 13.6 liters per 100 kilometers in a city and 10.7 liters per 100 kilometers on a highway. That's marginally better than the old V6 in a city, but actually worse on a highway. But at least in the real world, you can achieve those rated numbers. This Trail Boss comes with a factory 2-inch lift along with 32-inch tires and a wider track. It also has a 2-speed transfer case and an automatic locking rear differential. It's not manually locking like the one you get in the ZR2. So it probably can't go rock crawling or blast through sand dunes like the ZR2, but it'll go down a forest service road or to a remote campsite without getting stuck. This semi-off-road focused nature of this truck means that it's not the first word that comes to mind for handling dynamics. The steering is light but precise, and the ride is a bit bouncy over rougher roads. But from behind the steering wheel, it doesn't feel like you're steering a barge. Sure, you'll have to find longer parallel parking spots than something like a sedan, for example, but it's quite easy to maneuver all 2 tons of this truck into said spot. At the business end of the Colorado, it has a damped tailgate. There's a ruler built into it, a small storage cubby as well. The bed is 5 feet 2 inches in length, and it's the only bed length that you can get with the Colorado. There are welded tie-down points at each corner. You can get extra tie-down points as an accessory. You can also get a tonneau cover as an accessory, like how this one has. And there's a spray-on bed liner. Plus it has these nifty little steps that make it easier for you to get in and out of the bed. As for towing, the Colorado can handle up to 7,700 pounds, which is enough for a small boat or trailer. Maximum payload for the Trail Boss is 1,726 pounds, which is about 300 pounds less than what the maximum payload weight rating is for the Colorado. That is achieved with the work truck trim, which is about as well equipped as a dungeon. Speaking of equipment, as I said earlier, this Trail Boss is the middle ground. So it has things like heated front seats along with a heated steering wheel, dual zone automatic climate controls, surround view cameras, a push button start, and a wireless phone charging pad. But it skips on things like keyless entry and exit. You have to pull the key fob out of your pocket every time you want to lock or unlock the truck. Also, while the driver gets a power seat, there are no memory controls and the passenger doesn't get any power options. It also has halogen headlights, which are as bright as candles in the night. On top of that, most of the features I listed are part of additional packages and are not standard features on this trim. Design-wise, the Colorado has a nice blend of physical controls as well as touchscreen integrated controls. However, one of the functions should not have been integrated into the touchscreen. I'm talking about the exterior lights. There's an icon on the top of the touchscreen and it always remains there, but with the more bouncy ride of this truck, it's just that much more difficult to accurately press this little icon. Granted, by default, it's always going to be in the auto position, and when turning on the wipers, the lights will turn on. But in foggy conditions, for example, the exterior ambient light might not be low enough to trigger the auto headlights. So I personally prefer some physical exterior light controls like the previous generation Colorado. The rest of the infotainment system is brilliant. It's displayed on an 11.3-inch touchscreen that looks fabulous. There's wireless CarPlay and Android Auto along with built-in Google services such as Maps, Play Store, and even Amazon Alexa. The quick access icons on the left side will take a bit of getting used to because they look very different than in any other infotainment system, but after a while, you'll know exactly what each one does and they can be rearranged to your liking. As for space, there is plenty of it up here in the front seats for my above average height of 6'4". But one odd thing is that the steering wheel doesn't have any sort of telescopic adjustment, so it can tilt up and down, but it can't move in and out. Higher end trims of the Colorado do have telescopic adjustments, but this trim and lower only have tilt. Also, it's very plasticky in here. Sure, there is some gloss black around the center console and around the infotainment system, which will get scratched up over time, but for a new generation of truck, there's more plastic in here than there is on the face of a Beverly Hills trophy wife. In these back seats, it's a little bit tight for somebody as tall as me sitting behind my tall driving position. The Colorado is only available in this crew cab configuration, and I guess this was the most popular version back when the Colorado was available in different cab sizes. Underneath these seats, there is a little bit of storage space, but it really isn't a whole lot. Now let's talk about money. The base two-wheel drive work truck Colorado starts at a smidge under $40,000 Canadian, which is very competitive. But as I said earlier, it doesn't get many features. This Trail Boss four-wheel drive starts at $48,799 Canadian. Again, if you want the heated seats, surround view cameras, wireless phone charger, and so on, be prepared to add on the technology and convenience packages. All in all, this truck has an as-tested price of $57,534 Canadian. So what's the verdict? Well, the Colorado Trail Boss is a bit of a contradiction. It has a tiny engine with the power of a big one, it has a high-tech screen but with budget plastics, and it's an off-roader that is actually quite easy to drive on city streets. If you live in a city and occasionally go to a cottage, buy an SUV. There are plenty of rugged options out there. But if you need the towing capability and the usable bed without wanting to go to a full-size truck, this is one of the most capable on sale today. But you are sacrificing a few features, especially in this Trail Boss trim, and you have no say in different bed sizes or cab sizes, unlike the Nissan Frontier or Toyota Tacoma. So the Chevrolet Colorado is a good-looking, capable, and pretty easy to drive mid-sized truck, but more options would have been better. In the meantime, if you would like to know more about this 2026 Chevrolet Colorado Trail Boss, I have a more detailed written review of it over on my website. You can find that link in the video description or click on the pop-up banner right up there. And as always, I will see you in the next car, truck, or most likely it'll be an SUV next time. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and see you in the next one.